What makes a Grand Prix a class apart from a normal Speedway meeting is the organisation and the in-depth planning of the event. Preparation, timing and the attention to detail are all key elements behind the successful running of a GP weekend. From track preparation to keeping riders in tow, they're just some of the responsibilities which weigh heavy on the shoulders of one man, the FIM race director. Ex-Swedish international Speedway rider Tony Olsson is in his first season in the job after taking over from series creator Ollie Olsson. We caught up with him for an Access All Areas account of the role.
It involves a lot of things, you know, but the main thing is obviously to liaise with the local organizer and especially the clerk of the course about all the things that is set out in the work manual that they have to fulfill to be able to organize a Grand Prix event successfully.
There's plenty of boxes to tick before takeoff at a Speedway GP.
My main duty starts already on the Thursday. We go through my checklist with a lot of points on it. It's as much for my benefit to their benefit because it's always good to get a reminder of what's needed. For practice, of course, you know, the main thing is to take part in the jury meetings, have the meeting with the riders, and then organize the practice. It's more like it's flying an airplane, you know, you have to go through your checklist with the riders as well. Of course, that can get a little bit repeating at times, but it still has to be done. A lot of the times we have something that happened in the previous Grand Prix or something that we're going to do it specific for this one or something for the future. So, you know, it only takes 5-6 minutes, but it's an important time of the day.
Race day can be a nerve-wracking and tiring affair for T.O.
During the day, I spend a lot of time, again, with the clerk of the course, looking at the track. What is the weather like? You know, should we do anything different? So it's a tense day, and it does take a lot out of you.
With 9 of the 11 venues subject to the elements, how do you deal with Mother Nature?
It has been the biggest challenge, and it's also one you can't really predict it. It just happens. Nobody can do anything about the weather. We can obviously try and prepare everything as good as we possibly can. If we have a downpour at the wrong time, it can spoil the whole preparation and the whole weekend. We've been very unlucky this year with 2 World Cup events and 1 Grand Prix being cancelled or postponed due to the weather, and it's the biggest stress of this job for sure.
You made a big decision to pull the plug due to the weather in Croatia. How hard was that?
We really don't like to cancel a Grand Prix event or postpone it. It was a difficult situation or different decision to make at the time. But then being helped by everybody being so supportive, I think everybody realized that we weren't going to race Saturday night. But obviously at the time the decision was going to be made. That's when the rain eased off, and you know, there was a tough day, and it's probably the hardest day as a Grand Prix race director I've had this year.
Is it so far so good for Tony in his first year in the job?
So far I'm very pleased with how it's gone, how we handle the different situations that has sort of been put to us. Of course, you know, Gothenburg, we had quite bad weather. The meeting went ahead, the track was okay, and the riders cooperated again very, very well. So now so far I'm pleased with my first year.
Most of the riders have nothing but praise for the tracks this season. What do you put that down to?
Of course, I like to take some credit, but it's not all down to me. You know, we have to, again, liaise with the clerk of the course and the local track staff. I listen a lot to what they like to do and what their plans are and how they normally prepare the track. And it's worked very well, I think. You know, sometimes we could have done things differently, but overall, I'm pleased with the tracks that we have provided for the riders. I mean, they are racing for the World Championship, and you know, one part of my job is to make sure that they have the best stage to do it on.
What's it been like filling the big shoes left by Ollie Olsson? He's not only the brains behind the series, but he also made the template for others to follow.
Ollie had a big task to set the whole series up and get everything organised and get all the people to work along the lines that he'd set out. Everything is timed to the minute at the Grand Prix now with a lot of different time schedules, and you know, everything is working so good, and Ollie should have a big credit for that, of course. it was easier for me to come in now and take over because the concept is already there and it's a good concept. And I felt no need to go in and try and change everything overnight.
How important to the role is the fact that you too have donned the race suit?
It's a good experience to have. I know how I would like it to be as a rider, and I'm ridden with some of these boys that is in the series now, so you know I feel I have a good understanding from them as well, and like I say, I treat them as professional riders racing for the World Championship, and now I think it's helped me a lot, but it's not a necessity. But you have to be very, very involved in it.
Part of the role of the race director is to be the peacemaker, but you can't please all of the people all of the time.
It's a different relationship, of course, but we all just try and have to stay calm in this situation and try and think clear and come up with the best solution. And I would obviously lean to the riders as well for their opinions and so on, and that's why I feel we have a good working relationship. And but it's not always easy, but that's part of the challenge.
You raced in a one-off world final, but would you have liked to have been part of the GP series?
Of course, if I was 20 years younger, I would love to. At the one-off world finals, of course there was different atmosphere, different surroundings, different settings. But I think we're now getting the best rider to be the world champion over the series over the year.
So just how important is the Grand Prix series to the sport of Speedway?
Today it plays a very big part, and it's very important to the world of Speedway. I think a lot of people was a bit negative when they started talking about the Grand Prix system, but today I don't think anybody would do without it.